Hi, this is Colin from watchoffthecuff.com. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different, which is to review a used piece. My friend George from George's Chronos, you can find him on Instagram at George's Chronos, stopped by, had a bunch of watches that he wanted me to look at, and I got a chance to kind of look through his travel watch box, and I asked him if he could leave this one with me. It is the Black Bay Bronze. It is the Bronze Bucherer Special Edition with the blue dial and black anodized aluminum insert. One of the reasons I wanted to look at this one was because, first of all, I had bought the Black Bay Steel and Gold back in 2018 when it came out, and thought at 41 millimeters that was probably the biggest watch I would probably wear in terms of my wrist size. But when I put this particular watch on, I was surprised. At 43 millimeters, I put it on the wrist. I thought, you know what, I actually could wear this. Now, part of it might be that they've got a rubber B aftermarket silicone strap on it, which is, I'm surprised. I'm not familiar with rubber B, but I would definitely at first look consider it for one of my own watches. The way it sweeps into the lug, and it just sort of feels differently on the wrist than I expected. I just find with some of these larger watches, if it's just a plain leather strap, especially when it's so large, it tends to dangle out and the lugs end up kind of poking out beyond the strap itself. And the same thing, unfortunately, Tudor, I don't know what you're gonna do. These NATOs, the single pass NATO with the hole that actually takes the spring bar through and attaches it, I just find they're so flimsy. One was included with my Black Bay Steel and Gold. I never used it. I don't know. I look at this thing and it kind of reminds me of like a used Band-Aid. I don't know. I just think that if they could make it a little bit thicker and more luxurious, I think more people would use them. I mean, maybe it's personal preference. I'm sure you're going to get haters in the comments. They're going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I love it. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, expensive to feel great. Like Haveston straps, I think they're out of the UK. I bought a few of theirs. I thought they were great. It just had a little more substance. I think that the NATOs are just a little bit of a fail. But anyway, so what also happened here is the Black Bay 58 not that long ago came out with a full bronze metal bracelet, and I've always been like a metal bracelet kind of guy. So the other thing that I was sort of interested in was up close how well I thought the bronze on this particular watch, even though it's not the 58 and even though it doesn't have the bronze bracelet, just to see how it felt and what I thought about the patina. So I took a look at it, and it's amazing, this nice grayish kind of patina, and I thought to myself, wait a minute. Bronze, it's copper and tin as an alloy. Where's the copper oxide? Why isn't it green? And why have I seen other watches that have a greenish patina when it's a bronze, and why this one isn't? So I did a little bit of research and found out that this is aluminum bronze. So they've substituted aluminum for tin. So I don't know what the exact alloy is here. If it was kind of straight up aluminum bronze, it would be 88% copper and 12% aluminum. But interestingly enough, that gives this gray kind of patina. It's actually aluminum oxide. So that brings me down to hardness, because I don't know who had this watch before. It doesn't look like it's been worn hard, but I'm really surprised that I don't see any kind of like surface scratches. It seems to be in really good shape. So I thought, okay, well, bronze is going to be a lot harder. So I went to the Mohs scale and said, okay, let me take a look at that. And I see that brass and bronze are exactly the same. So I'm thinking, what is going on here? Why is this wearing harder? And I thought to myself, wait a minute. Aluminum oxide is a 9 on the Mohs scale. Maybe once we get patina, we start getting some scratch resistance. But then I started looking at metal hardness alone, because I'm thinking there's no way that in terms of hardness, bronze is going to be the same as brass. I mean, we're taking an alloy, we're changing it, and the purpose of bronze is to make it harder, or else from the Bronze Age, we're just stuck with copper. We can smelt down raw copper. No, guys, we're going to make it complicated. We're going to put other stuff into the brass, just because, right? So there had to be some kind of reason. So there's another scale called the Brinell scale, which actually measures when you dent the metal, how far you actually dent or press into the surface itself. And it turns out on the Brinell scale, bronze is 80% harder than brass. But anyway, I thought it was very interesting. On this particular watch here, we think they've transferred over the bronze clasp, which has worked really nice on this rubber B. Yeah, I thought it was a really great piece. This happened to be in celebration of the 130th anniversary of Bucherer as a retailer. Of course, they have their own watches as well. They're based out of Lucerne, which is a German speaking part of Switzerland. But I thought it was very interesting to be able to take that and then compare it directly to my steel and gold Black Bay. Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting one. Just thank you, George, for letting me borrow it and talk about it for a little while. I learned a lot more about bronze than I ever thought I was going to. And if you are interested, at the time of this video, it is for sale. I'm not getting any part of that. I just, as a friend, I just said, hey, can I just borrow it and do a video out of it and see whether it would be interesting for me. I ended up learning a lot. Learning that I shouldn't be so obsessed with what the diameter of the watch is instead of how it feels on the wrist, which even though I preach it to people, I didn't practice in this case, which is why previously I had disregarded this watch. But I was pleasantly surprised. I'm a big fan of Tudor as a brand. And I think in this particular iteration with the bronze and the blue dial and blue insert, it's a really, really nice piece. Thanks.